2 degrees Fahrenheit. That's what folks in New York City woke up to this morning. Wind chill hit -17, colder than parts of Antarctica right now. And here's the kicker. This isn't even the worst of it. Not by a long shot. In the next 36 hours, another wave of winter fury is barreling straight toward New England. We're talking heavy snow, thick ice, and a transportation system that's about to grind to a halt. Now, if you're watching this from your living room with the heat on, you might think, well, it's just another winter storm, but I need you to stick with me here, because what's coming is a whole different ballgame. Right now, a coastal low-pressure system, what weathermen call a nor'easter, is forming off the eastern seaboard. It's tracking up from the southern U.S., crawling along the coast, and heading straight out into the Atlantic and New York City. It's sitting right on the edge of the snow line, the worst place you can be. See, when you're right on that boundary between snow and cold rain, that's when things get real dangerous. By tomorrow afternoon, February 12th, the skies are going to cloud up fast. Winds will pick up, and temperatures will hover right around the freezing mark. That razor-thin line between snow and freezing rain, and honestly, that's the danger zone nobody talks about enough. Then comes the overnight stretch late on the 12th into the morning of the 13th. And that's the window that worries me the most. We're looking at what forecasters call a winter mix snow, sleet, and freezing rain all at once. Now I know that doesn't sound as scary as a big old blizzard with 3 feet of snow, but let me tell you something. This kind of storm is actually way more dangerous. Here's why freezing rain falls as liquid. But the second it touches anything at all, it turns to ice, instantly, right there on the surface. Power lines, tree branches, roads, sidewalks, everything gets coated in a sheet of solid ice. And folks, it only takes about 3 to 6 millimeters of ice to snap power lines like they're toothpicks. That's thinner than a pencil, and it's enough to knock out electricity for entire neighborhoods. So let's talk about what that actually means for real people. For you, for your family, for your neighbors. Power outages, and I'm not talking about the lights flickering for 20 minutes and coming back on. After an ice storm, restoration can take days, sometimes over a week in the hardest hit areas. That means no heat, no refrigeration, and for many folks on medical equipment, no life support. If you've got a loved one who relies on oxygen machines, CPAP devices, or electric-powered medical gear, now is the time to have a backup plan. Tonight, not tomorrow. Tonight. And for those of us who are a little older, and I say that with all the love in the world, our bodies just don't handle extreme cold the way they used to. And that's nothing to be ashamed of. With wind chills dropping to -17, frostbite can set in within 15 to 30 minutes of exposure. That's barely enough time to walk to the mailbox and back if the sidewalk's icy and you're moving slow. Now here's the part that really keeps me up at night. The folks who don't have a warm home to go back to. At -17 wind chill, being outside isn't just uncomfortable, it can be life-threatening. Every single winter, we lose people on our streets, good people to hypothermia and exposure. If you see someone huddled up on a bench or in a doorway, please don't just walk by. A phone call to 311 or your local shelter hotline could literally be the difference between life and death. We're all somebody's son, somebody's daughter. Nobody deserves to freeze out there alone. All right, let's talk about the roads, because this is where it gets really hairy. Remember, New York just went through a thaw cycle. On the 11th, snow melted. Water ran everywhere. So now the ground is already wet. And when this new storm rolls in and temperatures nosedive, all that moisture freezes solid, creating what they call black ice. Black ice is basically invisible. You can't see it. You don't know it's there until your tires lose grip. And that's how you end up with those massive pileups on the highways 30, 40 cars deep, bumper to bumper. The previous storm didn't really end. It just prepped the ground to make the next one even worse. Snow melts, water flows, temperature drops. New storm arrives, and boom. The whole city locks up in ice. If you don't absolutely have to be on the road Wednesday night into Thursday morning, just stay home. No errand is worth your life, trust me on that one. Now, by February 13th, the cold air behind the system is going to come pouring in. Whatever rain is still falling will flip over to snow. Winds are going to ramp up, and temperatures will tank fast. And here's the real gut punch. Everything that got wet during the rain phase will freeze rock solid. Sidewalks, stoops, front steps, it's all going to turn into a skating rink overnight. For anyone with joint issues, arthritis, or balance concerns, please take extra caution. A hip fracture from a fall on ice for someone in their 60s or 70s, that can be a life-changing injury. Wear shoes with good grip. Take small steps. And honestly, there's no shame in asking for a hand. Now let me explain why this winter has felt so relentless. Because there's a bigger picture here. There's a massive Arctic air mass that keeps pushing south into the US over and over again this season. Every time a storm system rides up from the south, it slams into this wall of polar cold air. And when warm, moist air meets Arctic air, that collision creates ice storms. That's why we've been seeing this pattern storm. Thaw. Storm again, like a train that won't stop. Weathermen actually call it a storm train. One system right after another. No break in between. And it wears everything down the power grid. The road crews, the salt supplies. And honestly, it wears us down too. If this sounds familiar, think back to Texas in February 2021, same kind of setup. Ice storms knocked out power for millions. Pipes burst everywhere. And over 200 people lost their lives. Now, New York's infrastructure handles winter a whole lot better than Texas did. Let's be honest about that. But this freeze-thaw-freeze cycle can overwhelm even the best prepared cities. So here's what I need you to do, and I'm talking to you like I'd talk to my own family, because I mean it. First, charge every device you've got: phones, tablets, battery packs, all of it. Do it tonight. Second, fill up your prescriptions. Now don't wait until Thursday, when the roads might be impassable. Third, stock up on water and food that doesn't need cooking, because if the power goes, so does the stove, for many of us. Fourth, if you've got a fireplace or space heater, make sure it's in working order and you've got ventilation. Carbon monoxide poisoning kills people every single winter because folks run generators indoors or use the oven for heat. Please, please don't do that. It's not worth the risk. Fifth, and this one matters more than you think, check on your neighbors, especially the ones who live alone. A quick knock on the door, a 5-minute phone call, that small gesture can save someone's life in a storm like this. You know, we've been through a lot in this country, and New Yorkers especially. You folks are tough as nails. But tough doesn't mean reckless. It means being smart enough to prepare and kind enough to look out for each other. This storm is not about how much snow piles up. It's about the ice. The invisible danger on every surface. It's about the power lines that might go down and stay down. And the cold that seeps in when the heat shuts off. It's about the people out there with nowhere to go, praying somebody notices them before it's too late. So do me a favor, share this video with someone you care about, especially if they live alone or they're getting up in years. Information is the best protection we've got. And right now, time is running out to get ready. Stay warm, stay safe, stay off the roads if you can, and for God's sake, look out for one another. Because at the end of the day, it's not the storm that defines us. It's how we take care of each other through it. This is going to be a rough couple of days, but we've gotten through worse together. Stay tuned, stay updated, and I'll see you on the other side of this thing.